Hi folks, I recently picked up a Potentilla from my local garden center, and this morning I want to begin training it as a bonsai. So here's the Potentilla. It's been hanging out in my grow box for maybe actually a month. I think I've had it. And the cultivar is Red Ace, and I really like the new flowers. So they start off quite red-orange, and then fade to orange or yellow-orange. But really interesting Potentilla. Often they're yellow, sometimes white, but I don't really see them in this red color much, but I really like them. So this was a pretty cheap shrub. It's young, but with time it can become a great bonsai, I think. So 3 years ago, this Potentilla, which I recently did a video on, looked like this. And I've done quite a few of those videos recently where I've taken plants that I've been growing in my grow bed for 3 years and put them in bonsai pots. Well, in this video today, I want to show the initial process, the initial steps that I take to create those bonsai. All right, so I'm only going to work on the top today, but I am going to take it out of the pot so I can get a better look at the trunk. Well, I think I am. It's quite... Oh, it started to root through the pot. That's why I'm having problems taking it out. Okay, there we go. So I am actually going to remove some of the top bit of soil. Just a little bit. So I can see the trunk. So I guess step one that I go through in this process, which I won't show in this video because I don't have footage from when I bought this, is really I had an idea of what I wanted at the garden center. I knew I wanted a Potentilla. I wanted to get another one started. And so I was looking at the Potentillas, and I didn't just randomly choose this plant. There was maybe 8 to 10 of these. And I went through and studied each one, and I chose this one specifically because of a trunk line that I saw in the plant. So I'm gonna basically be pruning a lot of these other smaller things away. I could make a clump style bonsai if I want to, but I don't envision that for this plant. There's a really nice moving trunk line in here. Perhaps you can see it in the video, but I'll reveal it as I prune here. So yeah, I'm not gonna remove too much. I'm not gonna try and reveal the nabari or anything. But it is helpful to often take it out of the garden container because there's often it's planted pretty deep often. So it's helpful just to get a better look at the base. And often it is really helpful to uncover the nabari. But I don't really need to see the nabari on this today because I'm not choosing a front or anything. I'm simply going to prune 1/2 to 2/3 of the foliage away. So it'll actually be a pretty quick video. So I'm studying the plant again. So yeah, basically I'm going to prune a lot of this away. So I'll just go ahead and jump right in and get started. So I don't want any of this. Actually, I'll use my branch cutters. I'm going to take this off. And even though I have an idea in mind of what I want to do, I am, trying to stay open to other possibilities. So I am thinking as I go often. Because it does often happen when you have an idea for a plant at this initial stage. And this initial stage, this could be anything. It's a blank canvas, right? And yeah, this one, it's got an interesting curve right here. But it's kind of growing back into the plant, so no matter what, I want to get it out of there. But in this case, I think I'm going to just go with my initial vision. And the trick with these Potentillas is often it's very multi-branched, and I'd say most of them actually grow that way. So the trick is maybe finding a Potentilla that has just one main leader. Definitely don't want these two bigger ones. Alright, so now I've got it down to 2. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a twin trunk thing And I don't think I do. I'm gonna just take it off. It's kind of nice working with such cheap material. There's not much pressure. So yeah, effectively I've taken it off, you know, a lot. 50%. And this is really, I could stop here, but I might do some more. I'm gonna look at it now, keep studying. And I'll show you the trunk line that I have in mind. So yeah, looking at it, I can do some more cleanup. There's definitely branches that I don't want. Like for instance, this one is growing at a really weird angle and actually obstructing to the trunk line that I want to emphasize. So take that out. And I'm also finding a branch that's growing at a really awkward angle. I'll just take that out too. I think I'll leave this little guy on. He could help thicken up the trunk, because you can see this trunk is really thin. And I could do instant bonsai. I could cut this root ball in half, put it in a bonsai training pot. But I don't plan to do that. I'm gonna do what I did with my other Potentilla, and this is just gonna grow on the ground for a few years. I brought the camera in and I just want to show the trunk line that I saw when I found this at the garden center. So this right here to here to here. Basically it wasn't straight. It has this interesting curve and kind of a three-dimensional type curve. It doesn't just do one curve, but it has some interesting movement. So that's basically the tree right there. This is the only part I really care about. All this other stuff, that's just superfluous. This is the foundation of the bonsai. And I prune all this other stuff away because I just want this stem to grow. It's the only part of the tree I really care about, this line. So if I wanted this shrub to look more like a bonsai today, what I do now is basically prune all the branches shorter and make the tree more compact. And it would make it look more like a bonsai today. However, I'm not going to do that, and that's because, again, all I care about is this part of the tree, the basic initial structure, and I want that to get thicker. And pruning all this growth off would be counterproductive because that would slow the thickening process. What pruning this tree back would accomplish, however, is building ramification. Wherever I pruned it, it would tend to branch more and send out more shoots. And that is also part of bonsai, but first I want this to thicken before I worried about ramification. So I'm not going to do any more pruning on this shrub today. So I'm just going to put it back in this container where it was at, and I will move it back to the grow bed. So I'll just bring it back over to my grow bed, and I'm not sure when I'll move this to the ground. I could do it right now, later today, or I could do it in the fall. Might end up just doing it in the fall, I'm not sure. I could also leave it in a larger grow pot to grow on. But regardless, what I'm not going to do is put it in a small bonsai pot. And so perhaps not super exciting, but I think it's a good process to follow if you want to create a bonsai from just an ordinary garden center material, especially garden center material that has a small trunk like this. It'll be a much better bonsai if that trunk thickens up a lot more. Basically, once the trunk gets to a thickness that you want, that's when you can move it into a smaller bonsai pot. Hope you're doing well, and until next time, happy bonsaiing.